11. Guys, are you impressed?
Playoff P actually showed up for a change. Without Kawhi, they needed him to, and he
Yeah.
did. Now, can he continue to do it? I'm going to go ahead and say no.
Yeah, especially with Kawhi and the knee looking like it's really bad. I mean, it will be great to hear some fans in there to see what it's like with the energy. I'm assuming there's going to be more juice, but no Kawhi.
Yeah, and it's not just no Kawhi. They're assuming, let's just say, guys, that the Clippers find a way to get past the Jazz in advance. They're saying this could be a ACL injury for Kawhi Leonard, which means he would be done for the playoffs. So, obviously you're hoping it's not that bad, that maybe it's just a knee injury and he can come back maybe in the next round if the Clippers were able to advance. But yeah, it was not good news to not have Kawhi last night and to have maybe a very significant injury now going forward. But hey, Paul George stepped up big time last night. Can he carry the team? Can he put them on his shoulders for a couple games, for a couple rounds? We're going to find out whether we like it or not. I think if you're a big Kawhi fan, this is a big blow.
I mean, the NBA just absolutely had a terrible day yesterday, top to bottom. I mean, to go over, like you said, Kawhi Leonard ACL injury out indefinitely for the series. They are up last night with a big win with Paul George, but we'll see where that goes forward.
Yep.
Kyrie Irving remains out of Game 6 tonight. Chris Paul tested positive for COVID. The Pelicans fired Stan Van Gundy. Washington fired Scott Brooks. Mike Conley's going to miss another game. Like, the NBA had a bad Wednesday.
Yeah, we think we had a bad Wednesday.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, there's a lot of guys that are going to be on the shelf for the rest of the playoffs, at least for a couple games. But you know what? Crazy as this sounds, it's going to make everything wide open for the rest of the playoffs, because if the Clippers don't have Kawhi, let's say the Brooklyn Nets don't have all their complement of guys. There's injuries. The Utah Jazz is still missing Mike Conley. He's supposed to come back at some point. But really, it makes it wide open. I mean, the Atlanta Hawks, guys, the Atlanta Hawks are one win away from the Eastern Conference Finals. We could see the Atlanta Hawks in the NBA Finals. Like, this has been a very weird year. I know we're not in the bubble anymore, that it's more of a regular NBA playoffs, but it just feels a little bit different. And all of these injuries, Chris Paul and COVID protocol, like all of this stuff combined kind of opens the door for any of these teams to make a run to that championship now.
It's not the best team that will win. It's the healthiest.
I mean, basically, if you want to look at it, tonight could be the last game of probably the best series of what we're going to see left in the NBA playoffs. Brooklyn Nets, Milwaukee Bucks. Now, the Nets could secure the whole thing tonight with a win tonight, but they are beat up. So if the Bucks can come back and force a Game 7, I think this is probably the series of the whole NBA playoffs at this point.
A little something to watch for us tonight.
Yeah, right now, Nets and Bucks is a fantastic series. And let's just assume, for the sake of this conversation, the Nets advance. Then they might play the Atlanta Hawks in the Eastern Conference Finals. And, with Brooklyn having guys in and out of the lineup because of injuries, again, I just feel like it brings an open door to a lot of teams that, we weren't even talking about the Atlanta Hawks, not too long ago. And now they've got a chance to maybe sneak in there. And then on the Western Conference side, what are the Suns without Chris Paul? What will the Clippers be without Kawhi Leonard? I mean, do the Jazz come back, win 2 straight, get to the Western Conference Finals, and win the whole thing? There's just so many question marks right now because not a single team, maybe outside the Milwaukee Bucks, don't really have their entire lineup on the floor.
Right. That's why they play the game.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That's what makes the NBA playoffs fun. So we'll keep an eye on the Clippers, see if they can close out the top-seeded Utah Jazz in the Western Conference. Now, guys, we're talking about the Clippers having full capacity at Staples Center for that playoff game, big Game 6 against the Jazz. Well, on Tuesday night, the Dodgers went full capacity at Dodger Stadium for the reopening of the state of California. 52,000 plus. They said it was the largest crowd to see a game since the pandemic began. So Dodger fans were eager to get back through the gate, get to the ravine, and watch the Dodger Blue.
So now it's the Angels' turn. So pretty cool that we got that one filled. So now we'll have Anaheim filled. Here we go.
Yeah, and tonight for Anaheim, so they're having their reopening night tonight against the Detroit Tigers. Oh, and by the way, Shohei Ohtani will be on the bump. So it can't get any better than that, man. Ohtani on the hill, Angels full capacity, and I know they just got swept by the Oakland A's, but they had been playing some pretty good baseball, so it should be a big night at the Big A.
And he just hit his 19th home run. I'd like to introduce you to your MVP.
Jeez. Do you guys notice how fast he swings that bat? Like, he swings the bat faster than anybody else in baseball right now. There's something about his swing.
I mean, it seems as if he is an athlete amongst baseball players.
There you go.
Hey, 40. I think that was a compliment, but also like a backhanded slide somewhere there.
But it's baseball. It's going to be a backhanded compliment for me, for sure.
You know, he is a fantastic athlete. And again, he can pitch, he can hit, he can do all those things. But I think on top of it, I think he is just a great athlete as well. And that's what makes him kind of so special, makes him kind of separated from a lot of guys. But yeah, he is so fun to watch. And whether he's at the plate or on the mound, he's one of those few guys, Shohei Ohtani, where you're like, what did he do last night? Or like, oh, he's up to bat. He's pitching tonight. I got to find that game. I want to see what he's doing. Right. He's one of those guys that you seek out right now in baseball to watch.
Be careful, baseball. You might have something exciting on your hands.
And I mean, we've seen pitchers who can hit, but not like this.
No. Yeah, not like this. I mean, we've seen some pitchers who are actually, pretty decent at the plate. They're not a complete liability, but not like this. Not a guy who you're going to stick in a cleanup hole and be like, hey, you're our main guy in the lineup, outside of Mike Trout, of course, but you're our main bat in the lineup. You're our guy, and he's the ace of the pitching staff, not just like the fifth starter. He is the ace of the Angels.
That's what I mean. He's the ace, and he's leading the league in home runs for parts of the year. That's wild. That doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. So, Angels tonight, full capacity at the Big A. And guys, I want to finish on this. We talk a little golf now and then. We've got one of the majors coming up, the U.S. Open at Torrey Pines down there in the San Diego area, teeing off this morning. And what I'm hoping for golf is that Bryson DeChambeau, who's the defending U.S. Open champion, and the guy he hates more than anybody else in the world, I suppose, Brooks Koepka, and the feeling's mutual. What we can only hope as golf fans is that they're both at the top of the leaderboard come Sunday, and they are in that final group together on Sunday playing for the major title. I think that's best case scenario for the sport of golf right now.
Well, I'm sure there'll be drama if they're around each other. I mean, they can't stand each other.
This actually could make golf a little more exciting, too, is these two guys not liking each other.
Golf needs that. We have that like in every other sport, but I feel like golf for the longest time, they just never had those big rivals. I mean, look at any sport. You've got, Dodgers versus Giants. You've got, in NASCAR, you've got rivalries going on. Like there's rivalries and bitterness in every sport.
Shooter Gavin, Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
Right? That's what we need. We need the Happy versus Shooter rivalry.
Exactly.
And I think for golf, who's obviously a gentleman's sport, I think this is the closest thing that we're going to get to a rivalry. So if you're a golf fan and you like drama and you want a reason to watch the major, the U.S. Open, we can hope that DeChambeau and Koepka are together on Sunday. That would be fantastic.
Oh, it's golf, people. Go back to your shanties.
Right. No tiger. Yeah, no tiger means you need all the help you can get. Pep, tell me how to get your stuff.
Hey, you can check us out on Inland Sports, Twitter. We still do the old Facebook. We're on the gram, and we got the Inland Sports YouTube channel interviewing local athletes, local teams. Because, guys, we're still in the high school playoffs right now. The high school season is not over. We're in the middle of June.
Thanks, Pat.